Hi, room 14, 16, and 17. This is Thursday spelling work. So on your pamphlet, let me go to my next slide, you have your words, and then there's several things on this page. If you do your homework, it has several parts, and I just wanted to guide you through them. So in the first part, right here, it's talking about using a comma properly in a friendly letter. And this is worth talking about. You can use these strategies in email or handwriting a letter to a loved one. Maybe you have family that lives far away and you can write them letters. So I took a copy of it here. The first one is a greeting. The second one is a greeting, and the last one is a closing. And I have a little video clip. Let's watch it, and then we'll come back here and we'll talk about some greetings and closing. I do believe that next week, Mrs. Knowles is going to ask you to write a friendly letter to your teacher. So pay attention so you can write a proper letter with everything in the right place next week. So let's watch this, and then I'll come back to this slide.
Created using Powtoon.
Okay, so let's go back here. And that video clip didn't have any words, but were you watching? It had it had an opening. And the opening, boys and girls, is going to have less choices. Most friendly letters are going to start with dear, and it could be anyone. Dear Andy, comma. The comma goes after the greeting. It could be grandma. You write a letter to your grandma, comma, and this is at the top of your friendly letter. Sometimes, if you're really casual and it's just a quick note to a friend, you might say, hey friend, comma, something like that. But right here, the closing, you're going to have more options. When you sign off a letter at the bottom, you might say sincerely, you might say yours truly, comma. This one says your friend, comma. You might say goodbye, comma. Yours truly or your friend are very common for a friendly letter. But in both of these, the greeting and the closing, the comma is going to come at the end. All right, let's move on. If I go back up here to this part, so on a piece of paper, we don't want you to print anything, just write these greetings with your comma, and then down here, this should have a little more discussion. This is about combining short sentences to make it more interesting. In number 4 here, they use the word but. The sandwich was big, but I still ate it all. That's when you're comparing something. It was this way, but this happened. So putting that in the middle makes it less choppy. If you say a bunch of little sentences over and over, it gets a little bit repetitive. And then the last one here is and. That's when you're combining two ideas. So we played soccer in the park and we swung on the swings. So when you put and in the middle here, you're going to need to change the W and change the punctuation. And when you put but here, you're going to put a comma and but, and then I would still be capitalized because it's the word I. But here in we would not capitalize. Let's watch this video. And this man, he's kind of funny, but he explains it very well. He combines some sentences, and then you'll have a better idea. You only have to do two here, but let's see what he says.
We have our two sentences. I am the same age as my cousin. We go to the same school too. So first, I'm going to get rid of my period. We're going to combine the two sentences into one. So I only need one period. I'm going to replace that period with a comma because I'm taking two sentences and putting them together. There we go. Two sentences and putting them together. Then remember, we're going to use that little word and because we're going to add more information. Okay. And so I am the same age as my cousin, comma, and we go to the same school too. Are we finished? We got a problem right here. If it's in the same sentence, do we need a capital W? No, we don't. So let's say bye-bye, big W, and let's make a little W. Because now you got some help. You don't need a big W. So now our new sentence. I am the same age as my cousin, comma, and we go to the same school. Now, it's important to note, though, we got two subjects. We have I and we. And we have am and go. In order to use this grammar with comma and when it's not a list, there's no list here. If you're going to use comma and, your sentence has to have how many subjects? Two. I, we. How many verbs? Two. Am and go. Two subjects, two verbs in one sentence. Ideas are similar from sentence one to sentence two. We combine with comma and.
Okay, so when you come back just on a scratch paper, combine these two and combine these two. This one is using the word and, just like his example. So you'll make a small W, you'll use a comma, and then the two subjects are going to be we. It's the same in this situation. And then what's the action here? We played, we swung. So this one is a good example for what he did. And then the last thing, if I go back up here to Thursday's assignment, I'm looking right here. You're supposed to write 5 sentences. And if we look at the directions, it just says write a sentence for 5 of your spelling words and underline the spelling words in the sentence. You can do that. It does say to write a sentence with one of the words, but I want to give you a challenge. I think that kids going to 3rd grade certainly could have the challenge of putting 2 words in one sentence. I will do a couple of them, and then you see if you can come up with some more. I was speechless when the fearless boy jumped in the pool. What do you think of that? So I used speechless and I used fearless. I used 2 words in one sentence. Let's see another one. What about Amy was careful with the priceless object? I used 2 words, careful and priceless. So that's my challenge to you. If you cannot do it, it's okay. But if you can do it, it will be very good for you. Try to fit 2 words in each section, and then you will have used all 10 words. That's a challenge, to use them only once. And I understand if that's difficult, but write these on a piece of paper. Combine these 2 sentences for number 4 and 5 on a piece of paper. Write these greetings and one closing on a piece of paper, and snap a picture and send it to your teacher. And that's Thursday Spelling.